So there's been some controversy, if you will, about who deserves the next middleweight title shot. And there is quite a few options if we're being honest. There is a few options, but I'm going to rank the options from least likely, or at least least deserving to most deserving for the middleweight title shot. So starting off with who is most deserving, least deserving, sorry, for the title shot. I'm going to start off with Israel Adesanya. Now I get it. Israel Adesanya was the champion. He was the UFC middleweight champion, but this isn't his first middleweight reign. Now, if this was his first middleweight reign, and he, won and then, went on to lose it to Sean Strickland, then yeah, he would have deserved this shot. But he lost to Alex Pereira, then won it back, and then he lost again. So, in my opinion, he doesn't deserve a middleweight title shot. And it seems like the people agree on this. Nobody's really pushing for him to get the title shot except for Dana White, but even Dana White's like pushing back a little bit. So I'd say it's safe to say that Israel Adesanya is the least deserving, and I don't think he's getting the next title shot. And then moving up, we have Khamzat Chimaev after Israel Adesanya. If Khamzat Chimaev beats Paulo Costa, I think, or even Paulo Costa, the winner of Paulo Costa versus Khamzat Chimaev, either one, they have a decent claim to a title shot if they win their fight. But I think that they're not the most deserving. But I could see the argument for it. I guess it depends on how things play out. But I think if Khamzat Chimaev wins, you have to do Khamzat Chimaev versus Israel Adesanya. I think that just makes the most sense. Then the winner of that can get the next title shot. But yeah, I reckon that's after. I reckon either of those two are more deserving. Especially Hamza is more deserving than Israel Adesanya at this point, but I still don't reckon they're the most deserving. And then after that, there is Jared Cannonier. I think Jared Cannonier he actually does have a good claim to a title shot here. He's beat Sean Strickland. I thought that Sean Strickland won that fight. Like, it was a pretty competitive fight, but I thought Sean Strickland edged that one out. But it was competitive, definitely more competitive than Israel Adesanya versus Sean Strickland. But yeah, I thought Sean Strickland won that. But Jared Cannonier got that win against Strickland on paper, and then he beat the shit out of Marvin Vettori, like impressively beat Marvin Vettori. Like, it was actually very impressive how he did that. Like, I thought he was actually going to finish Marvin Vettori, who's known for his granite chin, but no, like I say, he's known for his granite chin, and he survived somehow. I don't know how Marvin Vettori survived that. He's just a tough, angry bastard, and he made it to the final bell, but yeah, just an impressive performance from Jared Cannonier there. So he did fill in for the replacement. That does give him a lot more of a chance to be, next up. But I think there is a man more deserving than Jared Cannonier, and I think everybody watching this who has any idea about the UFC or MMA would know who I'm talking about. With all due respect to Jared Cannonier, the man who deserves this UFC middleweight title shot is, it's Dricus du Plessis. Dricus du Plessis, he deserves that shot. Like, come on, let's be honest here, man. Like, Dricus du Plessis beat. So let's start off with Dricus du Plessis beats Darren Till, which is a good win, and in hindsight, it shows Darren Till maybe not as washed as we thought, because Dricus has gone on to do big things, but he beats Darren Till very impressively. He then beats Derek Brunson, who Jared Cannonier beat Derek Brunson for a title shot. So Derek Brunson alone could have possibly got him a title shot, but not just only did he beat Derek Brunson, who, if you beat him, he's a good test and he gets you a title shot, but he went in there and ran through Robert Whittaker, who, for a while we thought Robert Whittaker was the second best guy. Even some people argue he was the best guy because that second fight with Israel Adesanya was very competitive and could have gone Whittaker's way. And Dricus du Plessis won the first round against him, ragdolled Robert Whittaker on the ground. We all know how good Robert Whittaker's takedown defense is, you know. He's got some of the best takedown defense, some of the best get-ups in the UFC. And Dricus du Plessis literally ragdolled him on the ground, beat him up on the ground, cut him open, and then finished him in the second round. Like, Whittaker was... Like, he beat Whittaker easier than... he's beat a lot of guys, and, you know, beat Whittaker easier than Israel Adesanya did that second time. Even the first time. Dricus beat him better than Adesanya has both times. You know, it wasn't even competitive. Dricus just ran through Whittaker. And, you know, if anyone was to beat Whittaker, it's an instant title shot. So I don't understand why there's, like, any say of who should be next for the UFC Middleweight Championship. But if it's not Dricus du Plessis, then it shouldn't be anybody. Like, you know, if the only way Dricus du Plessis shouldn't be fighting for the UFC title next is if Sean Strickland's injured and you do him versus somebody for an interim title. That's all there has to be. Dricus du Plessis has to be next for a championship. It has to be Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland. And if anyone disagrees, you're just wrong, because it has to be Dricus du Plessis. He beat Robert Whittaker. There's no if, buts, or maybes about it. He is next for the UFC Middleweight Championship. And if you disagree, you obviously just hate Dricus du Plessis, or you're biased against Dricus du Plessis, or you're biased for, you know, Jared Cannonier or Israel Adesanya or Khamzat Chimaev or Paulo Costa, because there is no logical way you can argue that Dricus du Plessis doesn't deserve the title shot. So yeah, that's all I've got to say about this. Dricus du Plessis is the number one contender. I don't care what anybody says. I know Chael Sonnen was saying, you know, he's not number one contender anymore. He beat Robert Whittaker. He beat one of the greatest middleweights of all time in Robert Whittaker, who arguably beat Adesanya the second time. So you just have to do it. It's Dricus du Plessis or nothing, in my opinion. And yeah, that's all I've got to say about this subject. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Comment if you disagree with my take. You know, I want to hear your logic behind it. If you disagree that Dricus du Plessis doesn't deserve the title shot, who do you think deserves the title shot? Why do you think they deserve the title shot? And maybe you also have somebody I haven't even mentioned. Maybe you think Kamaru Usman deserves it because he beat Sean Strickland like 7 years ago. Maybe. I don't know. I want to hear all takes on this. I want to hear if anyone thinks anybody else deserves a title shot that I haven't mentioned, but I doubt it. I think I mentioned all the clear contenders who could be fighting for the middleweight championship. But yeah, if you disagree with Dricus du Plessis getting the title shot, let me know who you think deserves the title shot in the comment section below. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Put on the notifications too, by the way, and subscribe. Thank you.